rheumatoid, osteo, and osteoporosis.
Kevin?
Well, arthritis is acid buildup in the body. It's basically accumulation of body waste that leads to pain. And the water, we don't make any health claims, but, I think the water would help. And it would help very rapidly. I think within a month you'd see some remarkable changes. But, of course, we don't make any health claims.
Right.
It's a video entertainment system. It's a joke from my other energy devices. Went over someone's head. It's okay. Yes, I think the water would help. And right now we have a special for $25. You could try it for a month and run with it. So
I will say this to the people that will be listening in that aren't part of the water program. This is really, I don't know. It's just so obvious to me that this stuff is really a breakthrough that I just would encourage you to try. The key, again, as Kevin has mentioned and I've mentioned, is don't try it if you're not going to saturate yourself. If you don't muscle test, find some way so you know that you're taking the full amount that you need to take every day. Don't go at it like you've been drinking water in the past, because the highest level person I have run across, that as far as their saturation, water saturation was concerned, they run about 85% saturated. So even the guys that are diligently out there trying to saturate themselves cannot get fully saturated without the water that we have. You can get within a couple of glasses of it a day, but you're just not going to be doing it. The water takes it to a much higher level of saturation. On the other hand, if you're one of those people that are in the 40% saturation level and finding it actually hard to live, all I can tell you is it's going to make a big difference in your life. It most likely will make a significant difference to rehydrate yourself at a very high level. And you guys that aren't drinking a lot of water, that you know who you are. The nice thing about this is you get a reward for drinking more water, and that is you feel better. You just feel better. The energy level goes up so high that you want to drink more water. It produces a massive incentive to hydrate yourself. That drinking some kind of thing in the water to make it taste better and all the rest of that doesn't work. This stuff actually produces such a powerful physiological response and energizing response that you want to drink to high levels of saturation. But again, a lot of you people who are on the water program don't understand what it is what level you need to do to be saturated to really feel the pop. If you have any questions at all, either get a hold of Kevin or I, and we will make sure that you are saturated. We'll muscle test it for you if you don't muscle test yourself, so you can get the full benefits of the program. Because it really is amazing when you do it properly. Any other questions?
Anyone else?
Bill?
Yes?
Hi, I'm sorry. This is Rick again. You mentioned something about 50 feet, the level that the frequency goes into. Could you elaborate on that a little bit as far as the level and?
Okay. Let me just tell you that this is purely my observation from muscle testing. Okay. My muscle testing, and I'd be more than willing to have somebody tell me that that's not true or it goes further or whatever. But my muscle testing, just because this guy asked me, he says, "How does it work on pipes, water in pipes?" And I muscle tested yes. And he said, this was in Hawaii, so it may be different somewhere else. He says, "How far does it go down the pipe?" And I muscle tested, and I said, 50 feet. If the water travels down 50 feet down the pipe and changes its characteristic.
Okay.
And what that means is if you've got the water turned on, you can pretty well figure by the time it gets to the spout, the spigot, it's going to be energized because it's traveled 50 feet to become energized.
Okay.
If that makes sense to you. Now, if you muscle test and find that I'm wrong, that it's not 50 feet where you are, where it's 20, 30, or 100, that's fine. All I'm telling you is just as a rule of thumb, that's what I've done so far, and it feels about right to me. All I know is from my own experience with my shower, By the time it comes out the shower spigot, and Roy's probably got a better idea to connect it to the hot water heater, all I can tell you is when it comes out of there, it's just different. It is such an incentive to take a shower more regularly than normal. Now, we've had people that have put this stuff in swimming pools. I don't have any problem with that. I know it works, and I know it works very rapidly. Generally speaking, I feel that I don't know how far it goes out as far as water is, but the water body is concerned for sure. But I would say that there doesn't seem to be a time reference here. About 60 seconds, it nails everything. I don't care whether it's a gallon of water or a swimming pool full of it. In about 60 seconds, it's energized. Whether it's your bathtub, whatever it is, it takes about 60 seconds to flip it around. Now, I would be happy to have input from any of you guys in the future where you've muscle tested it's less than that. I suspect it probably is less than that in many cases. My feeling is maybe as little as 30 to 45 seconds before it's completely flipped over. But just as a rule, make sure when you put your name under there and refill that you wait about 60 seconds before you drink the water.
Now, I didn't mention this yet, but I've done experiments with animals too, and we have this dog that my assistant walks called Bo. It's a golden retriever, and Bo is the most chronically depressed dog I've ever seen. And he walks around with his head drooped up, and he looks at you like, "Oh, I'm poor and pathetic, and help me," and he just mopes around. And so we started feeding him the water. And, literally within, 15 minutes, this dog became a dog again, and he was jumping up and down, jumping on furniture, barking, yelling, to the point, we had to take the water away from Bo because he would come into the room like a little drug addict looking for more water. And we had to shut him down because, we didn't want his owners to get pissed off and get rid of him because he's now jumping on the furniture, which he's not allowed to do. So, give it to your dogs or animals if you really want to see a transformation very rapidly. And especially if they're old and sick, better now.
I have another example of that with cats. We have a client with cats, longtime client, known him forever. He gives the water to his cats, and he says they're like Olympic athletes. They jump higher, they move faster. He says it's funny, but as you watch them, they almost turn into not real smart but highly athletic humans in a way. They have a different way that they operate than they did before. We also have another person in California who has an animal that's been very, very positively affected. So I would say if you're taking this, if you're drinking the water and you've got pets of any kind, it's worth the experiment.
Well, I'll tell you about energy levels. So I'm actually writing a newsletter about this now. So I took a trip to London about 2 weeks ago, and I was on the water program maybe about 2 weeks at that time. And I flew in from JFK at 11:30 at night. I left, and I got into London around 11 a.m. And then I'm supposed to work 4 days in a row, grueling hours. I work on 23 patients a day, which is about 10 a.m. to about 8 o'clock at night. And we don't take a break when I work with Dr. Hal, and we just go one the whole day. So I'm like, I got to be psychologically prepared for this. There's got to be, I should have a lot of sleep. So I didn't sleep on the plane. I'm 6'5". I had the coach class seat. I didn't get one of the emergency exits, so I'm just I'm miserable. I don't fit in the seat. It doesn't work. So I sit through the flight. I watch 3 movies. I don't get any sleep. And then, I get in there, and my only time to sightsee is right when I get off the plane because I'm working straight through for the next 4 days. So I go, get meet at the airport, go right into London, go to Big Ben, Buckingham Palace, whatever. I'm miserable. I'm dreaming while I'm awake. I fall asleep on the train, all this stuff. So I have to work at 6 o'clock that night. We work on 2 patients the first day. So we go back to the hotel room. I take a bath in the charged water, and then I take a nap for 45 minutes. Then I get up and go to work. We work on 2 people. Go to dinner. I've been drinking the charged water. I start to feel a little better. I'm like, all right, whatever. So I feel a lot better. So I decided to go in to the city of London to go to a bar. because I want to do the Etheric Water party, and plus I want to